I've always been fascinated by dreams, not just my own, but the patterns that seem to echo across cultures. Why do people from totally different parts of the world, speaking different languages, across different eras, all have the same kinds of dreams? Why do people dream of their teeth falling out all around the world, or like they're standing at the edge of a cliff? At some point, I stopped dismissing it just as coincidence. It felt like something deeper, like these dreams weren't just personal, they were human. And if that was true, then maybe dreams weren't meaningless. Maybe they were trying to tell us something we've always known but somehow forgotten. And that's when I found this book, Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung. It was like stumbling into a hidden world that had been waiting for me. Jung had a name for what I was sensing: the collective unconscious, a shared layer of the human mind beneath our individual experiences. Once I stepped into that world, there was no going back, because Jung doesn't just help us understand our dreams, he helps us understand ourselves. Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist born in 1875. He started as a student of Sigmund Freud, but eventually broke away. Where Freud saw neurosis rooted in repressed childhood trauma and sexuality, Jung saw something broader, a deep human desire for wholeness. He believed the human psyche was made up of different parts, some conscious, some buried, and that our life's work was to understand and integrate them. His ideas reshaped psychology, but they also influenced art, religion, philosophy, culture. And at the center of it was this: we are more than we appear to be, and inside us lives something ancient, symbolic, and powerful. Beneath our personal unconscious, our memories, habits, and forgotten feelings, Jung believed there's a deeper layer, the collective unconscious. This isn't made up of personal memories, it's made up of archetypes, universal psychological patterns that all humans share. You don't learn an archetype, you inherit it. They're like templates of the human experience, repeating across cultures, in myths, dreams, and symbols. Jung outlined a few core archetypes: the self, representing wholeness and unity; the shadow, our repressed side; the anima and animus, our inner feminine and masculine; and the persona, the mask that we show the world. There are many more that show up in art, religion, and stories, like the hero, the sage, the trickster, the mother. You may have seen like 12 or more archetypes in popular psychology, but Jung himself never actually made a definitive list. To him, the concept was what mattered, that deep within us are ancient, shared symbols that shape how we live, feel, and dream, whether we realize it or not. One of the most essential archetypes is the shadow. The shadow is everything you don't want to be. It's your anger, your jealousy, your fears, but also your power, your desire, your instincts. Jung said that whatever you reject in yourself doesn't disappear, it hides in the shadow. And if you don't face it, it will control you from behind the curtain. We project our shadow onto others, blaming them for what we refuse to admit lives in us. But the shadow isn't evil, it's part of you. And integrating it is the first step toward becoming whole. One does not become enlightened, Jung wrote, by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Jung believed that each of us also carries a suppressed inner opposite. In men, it's the anima, the inner feminine, and in women, it's the animus, the inner masculine. These aren't about gender roles, they're about psychological balance. The anima may appear in a man's dreams as a muse, a lover, a witch, or a goddess, often mysterious and emotionally powerful. And the animus may appear in a woman's dreams as a wise man, a critic, a leader, or a brute. If these inner figures aren't recognized and integrated, they can distort our relationships. We project them onto others, falling in love with our own inner missing half, or battling it outside ourselves. Before we can even meet the shadow or the anima/animus, we wear the persona, the mask. It's who we pretend to be in public, the confident professional, the agreeable friend, the person we think others want us to be. But if we mistake the persona for the real self, we become hollow. Jung called the path of self-understanding individuation. It's the lifelong process of becoming who you truly are, not just a reflection of your upbringing, your society, or your fears. Individuation means recognizing every part of yourself, light and dark, masculine and feminine, conscious and unconscious. Not to be perfect, but to be whole. It's not easy, it's not quick, but it is the path to meaning. And Jung believed that meaning, not comfort, not pleasure, is what makes life worth living. The unconscious is always whispering, in symbols and dreams, in the things that you draw in or make you recoil. It doesn't speak in sentences, it speaks in stories. Jung didn't offer a system to memorize, he offered a journey, an invitation to explore the unknown within you. Not everybody accepts that invitation, but if you're willing to listen, to really listen, you might find the mind you thought was yours goes much deeper than you ever imagined. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Read the book.